adventurers, how are we today? I hope that you're having a fabulous day wherever you are and that the sun is shining like it is here in Melbourne. So today we kick off my goal, which is to do some bi-weekly lives, Tuesdays and Thursdays on this Facebook page, this business page right here. So Tuesdays, we're going to be talking about the practical sides of building your business online, and especially around how to do that in a really beautifully authentic and in integrity way. On Thursdays, we're going to be talking about the energy and mindset of how to show up as authentically you, because I know that that can be a barrier. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am all about authenticity. And I think that when you can be your most true version of you, then you start attracting the people who are a joy to work with. So let's get stuck in today. Today, for our mini lesson, we're going to be talking about how to be authentically you in terms of your social media strategy. So I often have a lot of clients who come in and they talk to me about their social media strategy, and the overall feeling is that it feels really icky, it's really hard work, and it's like energy draining. Like they dread it. They're like, oh my God, why do I have to be on this platform? However, they're also trying to create a business that attracts clients online or is purely online. So of course they have to have a social media strategy, and they have to be present in the online space. So I want to offer today a few alternatives about how to be authentically you, or how to show up authentically in terms of your social media strategy. Because there is a lot of advice out there that can feel really gross. It can feel like a lot of hard work, and it can feel like something that is against your values. So we don't want any of that. We are done with that kind of really pushy marketing now. I know that we are moving into a space where it's more about real connection, and we have a really beautiful advantage as women because we're natural connectors. So we can actually tap into our own source of truth and use that to guide our social media strategy. And I'm going to give you some concrete ideas of how to do that. So thank you for those who are joining me live right now. If you are here live or you're watching after the replay, drop me a hi, ask me some questions. Say hello and interact with me. I would love these lives to be a place where you can just pop in and say hello, and let's create a bit of a community here. So back to today's subject, talking about how to be authentically you in your social media strategy. As I said before, a lot of people find the normal advice about how to build a social media strategy really icky and gross. Now, I think there's a reason for this, because it's been grown on a really kind of masculine, pushy way of connecting with people. So it doesn't feel good. It feels really yucky. So I think half of the reason why most women find a traditional social media strategy, i.e., turn up every single day, post on your pages all the time, go and interact with all these groups. And I've said this to people too, right? So I'm guilty of having given this advice to people as well. They find this really exhausting because it takes up so much energy, and it feels even more exhausting when you're not getting any engagement, i.e. people are not commenting, no one's liking your posts, and ultimately we're not even getting clients from what it is that we post. Oh, hi Nicole, lovely for you to meet me online here. It's so good for you to be here. So I want to kind of break that down a little bit. The traditional social media marketing strategy requires quite a lot of our time and effort to be present on the online space. And if you're like me, you kind of maybe don't actually gravitate towards social media. I don't absolutely love it. I teach it and I do it because I know it's part of being online and being an online business. But I don't absolutely love it to the point where I want to be in the social media space 24/7. Like I make it work for me. And this is the invitation I want to give you in terms of creating your own strategy for how you show up online, is to make this platform work for you, right? So if it doesn't feel good, to turn up every single day and post every single day, then don't. My first tip for you is to set up a plan, and I call it a really loose plan, as to what your ideal would be to turn up in your business. Like, how many times a day, or how many times a week, should I say, would you like to be posting on your Facebook page? How much time, like total time, would you like to spend on social media? I generally try to cap it at an hour, right? And I've got strategies in place there to make sure that I'm really on point. I have a social media plan that includes links straight to the places I need to go, and I prepare all of my content off of the online space. So I don't end up getting distracted. I don't end up spending more time than I want to on a platform that I don't really jive with, or that I feel like takes me away from the work that I actually should be doing. But I'm still being highly effective, knowing that I'm trying to grow a business that is online. So I have to interact here. Well, I have to interact in some space online. And today we're talking specifically about social media. So there's your first tip, is decide on a loose plan of your ideal of how many times you would like to show up on your business page in groups, and give yourself a time limit. When we give ourselves a time limit, I guarantee most things get done. And knuckle down and just do it, right? Give yourself time limit, be very strict in it. So this also starts to bring us into what we decide is our boundaries. So it can be very overwhelming in the online space. It can be energy draining. It can feel really icky. And the second tip I want to give you is to remind you that we are creating, or hopefully you're creating, genuine connections, genuine relationships with people. Because ideally you are bringing them into your world. You're creating the know, like, and trust factor. And then they're going to decide from that space whether they want to work with you or not. So genuine connection is a very important thing. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been spammed so many times by people giving me a friend request when I've never met them before. I don't know anything about them. And then, lo and behold, I receive a message in my inbox about, would you like to work with me? Or would you like to join my free Facebook group? And of course, the immediate response I have is absolutely no. I don't want to have anything to do with you, because you have not created a genuine connection with me. So for this space to be less icky, less energy draining, and feeling like it's a one-way conversation, the second invitation I give to you is to see it as a place where you are creating real, genuine connections and relationships with people. I have people online who I consider my friends, who I have never met before, but we have created genuine connections, whether it's by commenting on each other's posts, sending each other private messages, and I feel like if I was in the same city as them, I would definitely have a coffee with them, right? So stop treating this space as a space only to make business connections and as a place to hustle. Because in the end, if we create it as a space where we're actually just creating relationships, then it becomes, I feel like it becomes a little bit easier for us to actually want to show up here, to hang out with our friends online. So let me know if you have any questions as you're watching now or as you're watching the replay, and if you need any clarity about what I am chatting about, just pop them into the comment box. If you are seeing what I'm saying and you're vibing with it and you're like, yes, then also let me know. I love heaps of interaction while I'm live or after the fact as well. So there's two tips for now. One is have a loose plan about how you're going to create in the online space and remembering to tap into what it is that you actually value. Do you value having a lot of time spent in the online space, or do you value time spent elsewhere? If you're like me and you value your time elsewhere, then you need to give yourself boundaries of how much time you spend on the online space. Be really organized and decide if you want, how often you want to show up on the online space, because you are ultimately the boss. You get to create the strategy. And when it becomes easier for you to show up because you're not trying to fulfill some rigid expectation of how many times you're supposed to show up, it becomes easier and a lot more enjoyable. You're welcome, Nicole. Yeah, it's all making sense. I'm glad. The second piece of advice I gave you was to treat this platform as a place to make genuine connections, right? Sometimes when we come in with the business lens on social media, we're like, it's all business and I'm only trying to make business connections. Now, I get it. Like, we're trying to create a really sustainable business online. However, I know that the most successful business owners are the ones who create relationships, regardless of whether it's a business relationship or it becomes more of a personal relationship. They are just really good at relationship building. So how about we take off the pressure of creating the social media platform as a place to create business connections so much, and we see it as a place to make genuine connections? Doesn't that make it feel so much more fun? And doesn't that feel like way more in integrity to the sort of person that you want to be, the sort of businesswoman that you want to be? And keep away from the tacky tactics of hopping into someone's message box and saying, hey, join my free thing, when you have absolutely made zero connection with that person. It will be instant shutdown, right? It's terrible practice. And I know that people teach this. It just feels gross. So the last tip I wanted to give you about being authentically you in your social media strategy is to create content that is drawn from your soul-aligned brand. Now, you know I'm all about branding, and the reason I'm really passionate about branding is because it makes us get really crystal clear on what we value, why we're here to do what we're here to do, and how we are going to show up online. When this is really clear, we can create content that is automatically in alignment with who we are. We can create business strategies, including your social media strategies, that is in alignment with our things that we value. Now, as I chatted to you just earlier before, one of my values is not really spending time on social media, but having more time in nature. It's about having more free time to be able to do the things that I really enjoy. And so I know that value. I bring that value into my business, and therefore I know that as part of my social media strategy, there is a limit of time that I am willing to invest on this platform, even though I am growing an online business. Because if I do more than that, it is so out of alignment, it is so against my values, and I feel drained, I feel like it's hard work, and I feel like it's icky. And we've heard those words before, right? As I said, I have clients all the time who come with those complaints about the social media space. It is never really about the social media space in particular. It's about you being clear on your values and having boundaries in place and creating a plan that is authentic to you, that makes it easier for you to be on the space. So those 3 tips, I hope, help you to creating a really authentic social media strategy, because it doesn't have to be about turning up every single day. It doesn't have to feel icky and gross and like hard work. And if you don't like social media, there are plenty of other places that you can be present online and grow your audience. And I know many entrepreneurs who haven't used Facebook as their main place to grow their audience. They've used other platforms. So, I mean, if you're not jiving with it, just choose somewhere else to grow. It's really easy. We get to choose how we interact with social media. We get to choose the vibration that we have around that, and we'll talk more about that on Thursday. And we get to choose the strategy or how we show up every single day on social media. So it is your job as an entrepreneur, as a soul-aligned entrepreneur, to really create a strategy that feels so yummy, that feels nice and easy for you and allows it for you to show up in your best self, right? The worst time to show up on social media is when you're like, I hate this. I have to do it and I hate it. Oh, that feels really gross for everyone involved. So if there are no more questions right now, I will hop off of this live a little earlier. I had planned to be live for 30 minutes, but you know, we just roll how it rolls. If you are interested in knowing more about creating a soul-aligned and authentic social media strategy, then chuck me a comment in the comment box. Make sure to tag me or send me a private message, and we can hop on a quick 20-minute call to discuss what you may need and how I can help you. Otherwise, I will see you here, same time, same place, 12 p.m. on Thursday, and we're going to take a slightly different spin, and we're going to talk about the energetics and the mindset about being authentically you in the social media space. So I hope to see you then. Ciao for now. Have an amazing day. Bye. Mwah!